Hey guys, it's me again, Megan. I am going to make my second video. Today I just want to talk about the things that make it harder to be a infertile couple. Infertility technically is after a year of trying and being unsuccessful to conceive, you're considered infertile. For us it's been 3 years this month, and we've been to the doctors and we've been diagnosed, and for right now I'm not going to give the details on that yet. Just right now I want to talk about the things that make it more difficult to be infertile, because just, the fact of obviously being told that there's a chance you won't be able to conceive your own child is overwhelming in and of itself, but the other parts are equally overwhelming. The number one, probably obvious thing is everybody else, it seems like, is having kids around you. It's hard every single time that you hear that somebody's pregnant. Obviously, it's a reminder of a joy that you feel like you might not ever get to experience, and especially as a woman, most women from, the time that they were a little girl would play with dolls and, pretend like what's going to be like when I'm a mother, and, believes it's going to happen for them someday. And, like I've talked about in the other video, I do believe that it will happen for me and my husband still. I have a strong faith, and I believe that it's going to happen, but it's still overwhelming being told that there's a chance it won't. What else? Okay, so talking about other people getting pregnant, it's really hard, but what is even worse is when there's people around you that are getting pregnant that you feel like, it might not be right, but you feel like, that you feel like don't necessarily deserve to be pregnant. And I know that's terrible for me to say, but there's been times where I felt like, wow, why, and I've asked God, like, why are they allowed to have a family? Why is she able to experience the joy of pregnancy, And, I have many friends and stuff that I believe deserve to have a family and a child, and, I love them and I love their kids. But there are some people that I've known, or just that I've seen or heard of, that were getting pregnant, and it just it's like a stab every time that somebody else that I feel like doesn't deserve, someone that doesn't have the money for it, someone that is going to be possibly neglective or abusive towards that child, or somebody who their spouse doesn't even want a child, they aren't even on the same page, and going to baby showers, it's really hard. It's weird, sometimes I can go and I'm totally fine, and it's as if, before I even knew that we were struggling with infertility. But other times I just can't handle it. Like, there's been times where I just didn't go to a baby shower, and, just made up an excuse of why I couldn't go, because, it's just, you're going there, everybody's celebrating, and then you get the question, so when are you guys going to start? When are you guys going to start trying? So I guess that leads me to the other point. That makes it more difficult, is when people start asking you that. And I'm guilty of asking my friends that. And it's just, it's one of those unavoidable things, because people are curious and they're excited, and they know, hey, you guys have been together for 5 years, married for 5 years, and together for a lot longer before that. Why haven't you started having family yet? Especially, for me, people know that I love kids and I've wanted my own children for a long time. And so they say, oh, when are you going to start? And, I have to tell them, oh, well, I've been trying for a while, and, it's just, we're struggling with it. And I don't go too much in detail unless they seem like they care to. Listen, some people really are interested and want to know, and I don't mind that at all. But what's frustrating is when somebody says, oh, well, you're young, so don't worry. It's like their default. So that's the other problem, that it just makes it more difficult to be infertile, is when you're younger, it seems like people think there's no rush to try. And, it's just like a common, I don't know, I guess a mistake for people to believe that just because you're young, you shouldn't worry about the fact that you or your husband could have, fertility problems. So I just kind of turn red in the face when people say, oh, you're young, don't worry about it, you still got time. Okay, so something else that drives me nuts, like nuts, crazy, is when people start giving me suggestions. And I know some of my friends and family are watching this and be like, ooh, that's me, I've given her suggestions. Some of you guys, I obviously, when it's close friends and family and they know my situation, it's a little bit different. But, when strangers are giving you advice on how, you can get pregnant without even understanding or even realizing that we actually been diagnosed with a medical condition that causes infertility, they're trying to give us advice like, have you stood on your head? Or, tried this? Or taken this vitamin, this medicine? Have you tried? I'm sure anybody out there who has dealt with infertility is watching this thinking, oh my gosh, because they have gotten a ton of advice on how to get pregnant. Because, if you just relax, you'll get pregnant. Just don't stress about it. I mean, I don't know how many times I've heard that, and that just makes me crazy. And moving on. Okay. Oh, so let me talk a little bit more about the just relax and you'll get pregnant suggestion. Just so you all know, if you have a friend or in the future have friends that are dealing with infertility, telling them to relax is not going to work. It's going to make them probably stress out more. And really, in the end, yes, stress can affect your cycles. It can affect pregnancy. But for the most part, if they've been trying for more than a year, it's not stress. It's probably a medical condition. Infertility, if you have a medical condition and then you add stress, yes, it's probably going to make it worse. But it's not going to magically cure your medical condition just because you relax a little. And that's just, when all you and your husband want are children. I know you imagine what they're going to look like someday. Like, are they going to have your eyes or my nose or your hair? And, what are we going to name them? What is their personality going to be like? Who are they going to be more like? And, you think about all those things, and then you're told that you might not ever get to see that or experience that. Or you're going to be stressed. That's the bottom line. It's hard. That's all I can say about that right now. But just try, when your friends are telling you about their infertility or they're struggling with it, try not to give them advice unless they ask for it. Just let them talk and agree with them how much it sucks. Because I find that that's the best. I think people need to realize that and stop with the advice. Stop telling people to stand on their heads. If you are struggling with infertility, know that it is very common, and I've done research on this, to go through a grieving process that is similar to that of, losing someone to death. Grieving process that you go through and the emotions are actually very similar when you're struggling with infertility. And I can tell you that every month when I find out that I'm not pregnant, every time I go through at least a 2-day grieving process of where I literally feel like I lost, a child. Because I know that I'm not pregnant, but all those months, or not months, all those days leading up to, before you can test, you feel like, wait, maybe there's life in me, maybe, who knows, maybe. And you start to pray about it, you start to think about it, you start to believe, okay, wait, that was a symptom, oh, I didn't have this happen last month. And you start to believe and imagine what kind of child could be growing inside of you. And then you find out you're not pregnant again. And the emotions I go through are just crazy up and down. I will try and post maybe a little link to something about the infertility and the grieving process of it all so you can all understand it better. But just know that it's very similar to feeling of losing someone close to you. I know I got a little off subject there, but love you all, and thank you for watching me again. And next time I will do something on adoption and where we're at in the whole process. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.